That's why I asked you to pay back the money you owe. My husband suddenly left me with a big debt and vanished. I tried to reach him, but he didn't respond. What should I do now? I can't afford to pay off such a huge debt on my own. Thankfully, my daughter was there to support me when I felt lost. Mom, don't worry, she said. I'm Kate, 35 years old, working part-time and taking care of the house. My husband's name is Ruggin, and we have a daughter. Rogan and I met at a social event where I was feeling nervous, but he approached me and made me feel comfortable. We hit it off and exchanged contact details. As we kept talking, I started feeling something special for Rogan. Soon enough, we began dating. Who would have guessed I'd end up dating someone I met at a mixer? After our first date, I told my older sister Talia about Rogan. She burst into laughter, saying, "Really? I never imagined you'd find a boyfriend at a mixer. I thought you'd date someone from work or something." I've always been shy and not great at socializing. Even as an adult, I rarely went to parties. It's quite a surprise, isn't it? You only went to help out, right? Exactly. When I showed Talia a photo from our date, she said, "He's surprisingly good looking." After catching up, we said goodbye for the day. Talia is still single and seems content with it, not really interested in getting married or having a boyfriend. While I respect her choice, I'm excited about my future with Rogan. If things go well and we get married and have kids, that would be wonderful. On my way home, I couldn't help but smile. A few years later, Rogan and I got married. I remember his proposal so clearly. It was such an emotional moment. I couldn't stop crying tears of joy. Moving into our new apartment marked the beginning of our life together as a married couple. We used to live apart, so being with Rogan every day felt like a dream come true. Even though our work schedules were different, we made sure to have dinner together, sleep side by side, and cherish every moment. On our days off, we'd relax at home or go for drives, enjoying each other's company. The arrival of our daughter, Rhea, brought even more joy into our lives. She was so tiny and adorable. Her birth was an incredibly emotional experience that I'll never forget. Since Rita was born, I felt like I found true happiness. Our parents and relatives were thrilled too, sending us lots of gifts to celebrate. Just before Rhea was born, I quit my job to focus on taking care of my family. Rogan has always been supportive, helping with household chores and taking care of Rhea, even when he's tired. He'd often say, "I'll look after Rhea so you can rest." I'm grateful to have married such a wonderful person like him. Living with Rogan, who loves and cares for us so deeply, has been incredibly heartwarming. However, a few years down the line, I found myself regretting marrying Rogan deeply. Several years after Rhea was born, Rogan surprised me by resigning from his job. He explained that he had been struggling with a new boss, which had taken a toll on his mental health, leading him to quit. While I understood his reasons, I couldn't shake off the feeling of frustration. Why hadn't he discussed this with me beforehand? Our family relied on his income, so such a significant decision should have been made together. That was unexpected. "Have you thought about what's next?" I asked. "Don't worry, I'll figure it out," he replied vaguely. His response didn't ease my concerns, but I had no choice but to trust him. Luckily, Rogan found a new job relatively quickly. That's a relief. I thought about working too, but with Raya still young, I want to be there for her, I explained. "Is everything going well at the new job?" I asked. "Yeah, it's fine," he replied curtly. I sensed something was off, but I didn't want to push in further. So I handed Rhea to him and went to take a bath. A few days later, Rogan returned home looking downcast. As I tried to inquire about what had happened, memories of his previous abrupt resignation flooded my mind. Could it be that he had quit again so soon? Sadly, my suspicions were confirmed. "I quit my job," he admitted. "Why?" I asked. "I just couldn't get along with my coworkers, especially being bossed around by someone much younger," he explained. "I understand, but we'll get through this. We'll find another job, and I'll support you however I can." I reassured him. Suddenly, Rogan's demeanor changed, and he lashed out at me. Why do you look so displeased? You only eat because I work. You just stay at home and act all superior, he snapped, tossing his bag onto the table. Confused by his outburst, I asked, "What's wrong?" "Just shut up," he retorted angrily, grabbing a whiskey from the fridge and downing it in one go. I was taken aback by his behavior. I'd never seen him this upset before. I tried to calm him down, but he continued to vent his frustrations, eventually slumping onto the sofa in a sullen mood. I was shocked and hurt by his words, and our relationship suffered as a result. Since then, Rogan has been stuck in a cycle of finding and quitting jobs. We went through uncertain times and faced many anxious days. "Rogan, can't you take your job more seriously?" I tried to be understanding initially, but with everything going on, I couldn't stay silent any longer. "You're being unreasonable. If you're unhappy, then you should work and earn money. You rely on me too much." "But what about Raya? What about her?" Lately, Rogan seemed to be losing interest in Rhea and avoiding her. When Raya was born, he was so attentive and happy, but now he was like a different person. No matter how much I pleaded, he showed no interest in finding work. Eventually, I had to leave Rhea with Talia and start working myself. "I'm sorry to burden you with this," I told Talia. "It's okay. Rhea and I will be fine," she reassured me. Rhea had just started kindergarten, so leaving her with Talia wasn't too concerning. I trusted Talia to take care of her, and Rhea was surprisingly mature and calm for her age. She enjoyed reading newspapers and could write long sentences. Rhea was quiet and composed, and I worried if she would make friends at kindergarten. But she surprised me by making many friends and enjoying her time there. It was heartwarming to see as a parent. With Rhea settled in kindergarten and Talia looking after her, I felt confident about working outside the home. When I started job hunting, I was surprised to land one quicker than expected. So I began working full-time, and the pay was better than I had hoped for. Even if Rogan didn't have a job, our finances would likely be stable. Luckily, the work environment was pleasant, and despite the busy days, I enjoyed it. After a few years, Rogan finally found a stable job too. It seemed like he had found a workplace that suited him. I felt a huge sense of relief knowing this. Over time, Rogan's mood improved, and he started to resemble the man I married. He became more considerate of my work-life balance, asking if I was tired or if work was tough. I was surprised by his change. Maybe having a stable job gave him peace of mind. Rhea was growing up well, and Rogan became a caring father to her again. Seeing them play together always made me happy, but the thought of quitting my job and returning to the old ways made me anxious. So I continued to rely on Talia for childcare. "How's Rhea? Is she doing okay?" "Don't worry, she's happily playing," Talia reassured me. As long as Rhea was happy, I felt at ease. I still depended on Talia and had been thinking of treating her to something special to show my gratitude. Several years passed, and Rhea was now in the 3rd grade. She went to school every day with excitement. Our family remained close-knit and loving, just like before. I pondered over what had caused the previous strain between Rogan and me. Our home life now felt stable, as if past issues had been resolved. Then one day, Rogan suggested something unexpected. "Have you thought about getting a new car?" he asked. "A new car?" I replied, surprised. "Yes, our current one is reliable, but it's getting old. If it's becoming too costly to maintain," I agreed, realizing our car had been with us for a long time and repair expenses were mounting. "You might be right. Maybe it's time for a new one." "I thought you'd agree. I've already gathered some catalogs," he said. I didn't expect him to be so enthusiastic about it, but we began looking through the catalogs together. "Rhea, come here. Which car do you want to ride in? Let's choose together," Rogan called out to our daughter. The 3 of us enjoyed picking out a car together. Little did I know, this day would lead to unexpected events. A few months later, the new car arrived. It was a brand new model, costing over $155,000, and the loan was in my name. Normally, Rogan's name would be on such a loan, but given his job history, We feared rejection. I resolved to work even harder to pay off the loan, and I believed Rogan felt the same way. That's what I thought. But my hopes were crushed in an instant. Rogan stopped coming home, disappearing with the new car we had just bought. Did he get into some kind of trouble? What should I do? Just then, my phone rang. It was Rogan. Rogan, where are you? What's going on? I couldn't hide my concern. Relax, he said. You vanished out of nowhere, and the car is gone. Are you in trouble? I tried to explain how worried I had been, but Rogan laughed and dropped a bombshell. I found someone else. She's more important to me than you. What? What are you saying? I've fallen in love with someone else. I've already started the divorce process. Please don't interfere. Divorce? I can't believe this. I was stunned by the mention of divorce. But then I remembered a heated argument we had before. Filing for divorce meant we both agreed to end our marriage. I regretted letting my emotions get the best of me then. Oh, and I have a debt. You'll have to repay it, Rogan added casually. What? How much? Around $200,000. You'll handle the payments. With that, he hung up abruptly. I never imagined something like this could happen to me. Were all of his kind gestures just a facade? As these thoughts flooded my mind, I felt my strength drain away. Mom, what's wrong? Raya asked, rushing to my side with concern as I sank to the floor. It's okay, sweetheart. Thank you. I reassured her, trying to maintain a brave front even as anxiety gnawed at me. How would I manage with such a huge debt hanging over us? The thought of $200,000 weighed heavily on my mind. And then there was the car loan to worry about too. In a panic, I checked my bank balance, searching every nook and cranny for my ATM card, but it was nowhere to be found. Frantically, I checked my bank app on my phone and was horrified to see a significant decrease in my account balance, with no memory of making such withdrawals. Rogan was the only one who could have done this. I tried to reach him, but there was no response. It felt like my world was falling apart. With a blank mind, I resolved to focus on earning money. I decided to keep this burden a secret from Talia and Ria to spare them unnecessary worry. Weeks later, I collapsed at work due to extreme stress and woke up in a hospital bed, bewildered. Where am I? I asked weakly. Talia entered the room with Raya, her expression full of concern. It turned out I needed to stay in the hospital for several days for further tests. What should I do? I fretted. Let's discuss Rogan once you're discharged, Talia suggested gently. Raya then confessed that she had overheard Rogan's phone call, surprising me with her knowledge of the situation. As I prepared to leave the hospital, I couldn't shake the feeling of apprehension, worried that Talia might reprimand me for letting Raya in on the truth. The next day, I underwent various tests, which revealed that my poor health was due to cancer. Thankfully, it was still in the early stages, and there was hope for recovery through surgery. Although the surgery was successful, returning to work immediately seemed out of the question. With no savings and medical bills mounting, I felt overwhelmed. During this difficult time, Talia and Ria became my pillars of support. When Ria explained the situation to Talia, she was even more outraged than I had expected. Talia tried to track down Rogan to make him repay the debt and cover the medical expenses, but his whereabouts remained unknown. What should we do if we can't find Rogan? I wondered aloud. Talia then suggested an idea. What about the car that's in your name? Rogan has it, right? Maybe we can try to get it back. Is that even possible? I asked, surprised. Talia explained further. I found out where Rogan is currently working. Surprisingly, he's at a different company inside the same building where I work. Although I usually work remotely, I've seen him there on occasion. With this information, we can make a plan. Then let's go to Rogan's workplace right away, I suggested, eager to confront him. But Talia advised against rushing into things. We need a solid plan, not just a spontaneous approach, she cautioned. Ria and I have an idea, she continued. That's right, a plan? Raya confirmed, exchanging a smile with Talia. I couldn't quite grasp the significance of their demeanor. As I watched them silently, Rhea smiled reassuringly and said, "Don't worry, everything's taken care of." What kind of plan have they concocted? They didn't provide details, but everything became clear a month later while I was at Talia's house. Suddenly, a call came in. Glancing at the caller ID, I saw it was from Rogan. Initially, I ignored it, but it kept ringing persistently. Something must have gone wrong. Summoning my courage, I answered, and Rogan's frantic voice pleaded, "Please, help me. I'll explain later. Just come now. I'm in trouble, about to be arrested." He quickly shared his location and hung up. Talia and Rhea, who had overheard the conversation, finally unveiled their plan. We reported the car as stolen. "And it was Rhea's idea?" Talia explained, beaming with pride. Rhea blushed and looked down, clearly grateful. I thanked them both profusely and rushed to where Rogan was waiting. The park he mentioned was surprisingly close to my home. Police officers were gathered around Rogan, questioning him. We hurried over to him. First, we explained the situation to the police officers and asked them to leave. Then, Rogan invited us into his car and began explaining what had happened. As I glanced inside the car, I noticed a confident-looking woman sitting boldly in the passenger seat, her legs crossed, staring at us with a cold gaze. "Thanks for coming, but why did the police show up?" Rogan asked, clearly perplexed. He had been surrounded and questioned by the police, yet he seemed unaware of their words. I was so shocked that I couldn't find the right words to respond. "I reported the car as stolen," I finally said. "After all, the car belongs to me. We're divorced, so there's no reason for you to be using my car. Reporting it stolen was the logical thing to do. You probably didn't expect to be accused of car theft." Rhea chimed in, addressing Rogan, who appeared shaken. "Dad, why did you leave us? Why won't you take responsibility for repaying the money? Explain yourself." Rogan sighed and looked at us with an exasperated expression, but he remained silent. "If you refuse to speak, I'll have to involve the police. Using my name without permission is a crime," I warned him sternly. At this, Rogan began to speak hesitantly, bit by bit. He opened up about his mistress, Lily, who had recently started working at the same company as Rogan. Their relationship began at a company welcome party and quickly turned romantic. Shockingly, Rogan discovered about 3 months ago that Lily was pregnant, evident from her growing stomach. "So you chose her over us and left?" I questioned, my tone sharp. Talia chimed in, interrupting Rogan's attempt to explain. She criticized his past actions, including his irresponsible behavior toward the family, frequent job changes, and quick temper. Rogan, seemingly lost in thought or simply ignoring Talia, remained silent, while Lily's irritation was evident. She pressed him about the $200,000 debt, but he stayed silent. Then Lily dropped a bombshell. He borrowed money in his wife's name to buy me luxury items. I was lucky. A $200,000 debt for gifts to Lily. What extravagances had he bought her? It was surprising how easily Lily revealed this information, considering it could incriminate them both if they were conspiring. As I pondered this, Rhea asked Lily about her pregnancy. "When are you due?" Lily replied, "In about 3 months." But the timeline didn't add up. She claimed to have been pregnant for 3 months, yet she was due in the same amount of time. Something didn't quite make sense. "Isn't the timing a bit off?" Talia noticed the inconsistency and questioned Lily further. "Is the baby really Rogan's? It seems strange for the due date to be in 3 months. Whose child is it?" Talia's suspicions were clear. Though taken aback, Lily didn't seem inclined to hide anything. "Actually, the child isn't Rogan's," she confessed. "I thought about keeping it secret, but dealing with him further seemed like too much hassle, so I decided to come clean." "Is that why you admitted to the debt as well?" Talia pressed. "Yeah, there's no point in sticking with Rogan anymore," Lily replied, her tone mocking. The atmosphere grew tense and uncomfortable. I wanted to leave immediately. Meanwhile, Rogan stared at Lily in disbelief. "What are you saying? This has to be a joke, right?" he exclaimed. "Why would it be a joke?" Lily retorted firmly. The tension escalated, making the air thick with unease. Talia took charge. "Anyway, I'm calling the police," she declared. Rogan and Lily protested, but Talia reminded them that borrowing money in my name was a crime, as was using the car without permission, especially since Rogan and I were no longer together. She instructed me to make the call, and despite their pleas, I did. Soon, the sound of sirens filled the air. It was a relief to know that they would face the consequences of their actions. The issues regarding the debt and the car would finally be resolved. In the end, Rogan and Lily faced legal repercussions. While they avoided prison, they were held accountable for compensation, repaying the debt, and child support. Despite attempts to lessen their obligations through legal means, Rita's secret recording served as damning evidence, leading to their requests being denied. Rita decided to record the conversation after being inspired by a scene from a TV show she watched with Talia. While I admired her quick thinking, I couldn't help but wonder about the content of the shows Talia exposed her to. Now Ria and I reside with Talia without any commuting issues for Raya's school, as our previous residence was conveniently close. The car was returned safely, and it appears Rogan is somehow managing the debt. If Rogan hadn't made those regrettable decisions, he wouldn't be facing such hardships now. Throughout this ordeal, Talia and Ria have been instrumental, and thanks to them, the situation is gradually resolving. I am determined to work hard for a peaceful life with the two of them from now on. I couldn't believe what I was hearing when my boss said I couldn't take any time off with pay. It was shocking. I always stand up for myself, but this time it was too much. She basically told me not to bother coming back. Hearing that, I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. I asked if she was really sure about her decision, which surprised her. Her eyes got wide with surprise. It was disappointing. "My name is Nancy, and I just turned 28. I've been working at Candle Corporation for 10 years, which makes me experienced even though I'm still young. My family isn't rich, but my parents took good care of me. I'm an only child, so I didn't get a lot of new things. Most of my clothes were hand-me-downs from cousins or neighbors. Getting new clothes was rare, but I was happy with what I had. I have lots of love from my neighbors and relatives. I have great memories of going on picnics with my parents on weekends. Even though I didn't have much growing up, I'm still close with my cousins, and we talk often. I had a lot of love around me as I grew up. In 12th grade, I was the student council president and had good grades. My teacher thought I should go to college, but I didn't want to. I wanted to work for the government. My parents wanted me to choose a different job, but I went ahead and became a government worker despite their advice. I wanted to help my parents with money as soon as I could. But then my dad got very sick and passed away before I could do much for him. So I started taking care of my mom instead. We lived together and kept busy with everyday life. Time went by quickly, and I learned a lot while working. After 5 years, I became well respected at my job and lived comfortably. I was in charge of training new people and sometimes did important tasks for my boss. Plus, I got good bonuses, which let me give my parents $600 every month. In my free time, I enjoyed going on trips with friends, coworkers, and my boyfriend. Then, our boss changed, and the new boss was a woman who happened to be the president's daughter. People said she didn't work hard because she relied on her dad's money. The president wanted her to learn some important lessons about life, so he gave her a big job. Only the president and I knew about his plan. Many people in the company didn't think she deserved the job because they thought she only got it because of her dad. The work atmosphere was getting more and more tense, and it was starting to feel suffocating. And then trouble found its way to me. It happened when I made a cup of hot coffee for the new boss. "What's this?" "Are you trying to make me mad?" "I made it just like you asked." She gave me an angry look and threw the hot coffee towards me. "Ow, why did you do that?" I couldn't dodge it, so I held my right arm, which got hit by the coffee, and stared back at her. "How is this what I asked for?" I said I wanted it warm with extra milk and sugar. I made it warm with 2 cups of milk and 2 scoops of sugar. It's too hot. Normally, It's 4 cups of milk and 3 scoops of sugar. She acted like her way was the only right way and forced her preferences on others. I'm sorry. I'll make you another one right away. This is why I don't like people who only finished high school. My dad told me you're good at your job and everyone trusts you. I have a lot to learn. I only seem good because everyone here supports me. While she kept making snide comments, the pain in my burned arm got worse. I just wanted to leave and cool down my arm. I was excited to meet you after hearing my dad praise you. But what a letdown. I wonder how you impressed him. When she said those mean words, a coworker tried to help, but I signaled that I was okay, not wanting to draw her attention. Later, that coworker became her new target. Anyone she targeted before ended up feeling so stressed that they quit their jobs. Now it seems like she's targeting me. While I was thinking about what to do, she grabbed my burned arm and squeezed it tightly. You're brave to ignore me, but don't think you'll get away with it. I winced in pain. After seeing my reaction, she let go of my arm and told me to make coffee again. I made an excuse and rushed to the kitchen to cool down my arm. It was awful. After work, I went to see a skin doctor and got some medicine, but my arm didn't fully heal and left a mark. So I dressed in a way that hid it, so others wouldn't worry. Since that day, she started bothering me even more. What's wrong with this paper? It's full of mistakes. Take your job seriously. What mistakes are there? I asked, trying to figure out her mood. She threw the paper at me. There can't be any mistakes. I checked it. And it's annoying to be criticized with a red pen. I sighed at her childish behavior. Honestly, this paper needs to be fixed because it's not good enough. You came here without knowing much. Please admit the mistakes and learn. I tried teaching her like I did with other new workers, but her pride got in the way. Don't argue. Just do your job. I'm the boss, so I don't have to do this. And this is what the president wants. You're trying too hard to impress my dad, right? You came from a family without a dad, didn't you? I was surprised she brought up my family. Plus, we never talked about this before. You only have your mom now, right? Your dad worked hard in a poor family, got sick, and wasn't rewarded. Let's not talk about personal stuff at work. I just wanted to chat a bit. You're so boring. I couldn't hide my annoyance when she made fun of my parents. You're getting mad, huh? That's funny. My parents are amazing. You, who know nothing, can't say anything. She quickly replied when she heard my voice change. So, that's how you really are, huh? Is it okay to treat the president's daughter like this? Maybe I'll tell my dad how you've been treating me badly. Do as you please. Fix the test paper and hand it in today. I'm going to make sure you leave this place. As I walked away from her, she whispered something to me, but I ignored her and went back to my desk. After that, she kept being sarcastic, but I managed to teach her some basic stuff, although it was a long process. It included simple things like using the computer and different types of documents. During my break, I sat on the rooftop bench, sipping coffee to relax my tired body and thinking about my future. Suddenly, my phone rang with an unknown number. Hello, is this Nancy? This is Savvy Hospital. Your mom was brought in urgently, and she's in critical condition. Can you come right away? My mind went blank, and I couldn't remember much after that. I left a note on her desk saying I was leaving early and rushed to the hospital in a taxi. At the hospital, I explained the situation, and a nurse took me to see my mom. Mom, this can't be happening. There she was, looking peaceful as she slept. The doctor said she had collapsed at work. When she got to the hospital, it was touch and go. My mom's heart wasn't strong since my dad passed away, and the stress might have affected her. I cried and hugged her tightly for a while. After bringing my mom home, I called the manager to ask for my first paid leave ever. I'm sorry for leaving early today. My mom just passed away. Can I take about a week off for the funeral and everything? Oh, that's why you left early when I wasn't here. It was an emergency with your mom. Her cold tone hurt, especially at such a sad time. I won't approve any paid leave for you. I couldn't believe it. In all the 10 years I've worked here, I've never taken a single day off with pay. Wait, what? I've done a lot for this company. Shouldn't I be allowed to take time off with pay to say goodbye to my mom? You always challenge me. You don't need to come back. When she said that, I couldn't take it anymore. Are you sure about that? I'll take you up on your offer. She kept talking, but I hung up without thinking twice. The funeral went well. I didn't just sit and cry. I kept busy with tasks and sent thank you notes to everyone who helped. It helped distract me for a while. She tried calling me many times, but I didn't answer. Later, the president called me, so I went to the office. After 2 weeks, I went straight to the president's office. On the way, 2 coworkers comforted me. Sorry, I need to see the president first. Their kindness made me feel a bit better. It's Nancy. Can I come in? I asked when I knocked on the door. They let me in right away. Hey, it's been a while. Heard you've been gone for 2 weeks. That's not like you. I'm sorry. Let me explain. I told him everything, not hiding how his daughter treated us. It must have been hard for him to hear negative things about his own daughter, but he listened to me. I'm sorry for my daughter's behavior. To be honest, my wife and I spoiled her, and this is the result. It's okay. I think my parents might have felt the same way as parents. The president smiled kindly at me. Nancy, you're really amazing. My daughter's behavior was my mistake. I've talked to the people who quit in the past 2 weeks. I can't apologize enough for that. This was the first time I'd seen the president look so troubled. Since you stopped coming to the department where my daughter works, things have been a mess. The other day, the whole team even protested together. Really? I didn't know it got that bad. So, what's your plan? The president looked sad for a moment, but then he returned to his usual self. I need your help. When I looked into his serious eyes, I decided to help. Okay, I'm happy to help. And that's when actions were taken against her. Hey, when are you coming back to work? The frustrated manager finally contacted me. But didn't you tell me not to come? Stop that. Everything's a mess here. Come to the office now. I reluctantly changed and went to work. But when I got there, nobody was around. It was weirdly quiet, like a weekend. Isn't it a weekday? This feels strange. While I was alone in the office, I heard yelling and things being thrown from my department. I cautiously went to see what was happening. What's happening? I asked when I saw her causing trouble. She quickly turned and grabbed me. It's all your fault. Since you stopped coming, everyone else did too. Now I can't reach anyone. How will you fix this? I don't understand. Please don't blame me, I said calmly. She let go of me and pushed me away. You're so annoying. Even my dad won't help me. What's going on? How long has it been since everyone stopped coming? Just half a day. I've been answering calls, which I never do, and I don't know what to do anymore. She looked tired and messy. Her hair was a mess, and her nail polish was chipped. She must have hung her jacket somewhere. There were angry phrases written on it. When I saw her, who always acted like she was in charge, looking so upset, I couldn't help but laugh. Serves you right. What'd you say? This is your fault. What did you think would happen? Nobody follows someone who just throws their power around without real skills. As I stood my ground, she came closer, getting red in the face. Say that again. Do you want to get kicked out of the company? Well, I'd like to stay if you leave. Then you're fired? I'll take over this company. That's too bad for you. She had a strange smile and looked proud. I just said, okay, thanks for everything, even if it was short. She looked surprised. You know you're fired, right? Yes, I do. I'll pack my things. I walked carefully to my desk, avoiding the papers on the floor, and started packing. Wait, are you really quitting? Yes, why? I tilted my head. She seemed less confident now, almost desperate. Shouldn't you finish today's work at least? Her confidence was gone, and she looked worried. Did you know it's against the law to deny paid leave without a good reason? It's the law. She looked pale. She was clearly upset. But I kept going. We're all human. I understand we might not get along, but that doesn't mean you can treat people badly. You're not fit to be a manager. I wonder what your parents are like. Who do you think you are? Insulting my parents? You won't get away with this. Well, you insulted mine too, so you're not getting off easy either. She was angry but tried to act tough. We're nothing alike. You're terrible. You said the same about those who left. You treated them badly too. That's right. They made me feel worthless. So I made things hard for them. It felt good when they left. I sighed and looked down the hallway. She followed my gaze and muttered, "Dad, why are you here?" The president walked in and went straight to her father. "There's been a misunderstanding. No need to explain. I have proof of what you did." "No, they were jealous of my skills and set me up. I didn't do anything wrong." The president scolded her when she tried to explain herself. "You fool! I hoped the capable workers would help you improve. But in the past few months under your leadership, our performance dropped and we lost money. But I made you a manager, so I trusted you, right? I hope you can do better this time." "No. If I didn't promote you, you would have quit." The president's serious attitude made her nervous. "I never considered letting you take over the company. This time, I'll move you to the countryside to help you learn from the basics. Please understand. You'll be checked regularly, and the people there are reliable. Get ready." She turned pale, lying down and crying and laughing at the same time. I cheerfully said, "Too bad," to her later that day. The next day, she left the company without anyone seeing her off. The employees, happy to have a day off given by the president, returned to work happily without her. The office became peaceful again, and everyone smiled. Meanwhile, she started over in a rural town with no modern comforts. Her family's influence didn't matter there, and she was taught strictly by her coworkers every day. Over time, she started to change. She began speaking politely and accepting feedback. Surprisingly, the president got an apology call from her, which was unexpected. At first, I listened to her, but she ended up begging, "I've learned my lesson. Please ask the president to let me come back." I said no, and I stopped answering her calls and blocked her number. The president personally reached out to those who had quit because of her and asked them to come back. The company's performance improved quickly, even better than before. I got promoted to the manager's position that she left. Everyone in the department was happy when the president chose me. The job is harder than I thought, and I feel a bit overwhelmed. But with the support of my coworkers, I'm doing okay. Because of the burns I got, I received some extra money from the manager's salary, which made my life more comfortable. Recently, my boyfriend proposed to me, and I'm thrilled. We're expecting a baby next year, and we're both excited. Even though I'm only in my second trimester, we're already prepared for the baby's arrival.